Hi. So yeah, we're here and we're gonna do this
Finally, we're here. The day's here.
podcast thing.
It is.
Today's the day.
It is.
Today is the day.
So I think we should start by Corey telling us about why he initially got started with the Healthy Project.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so it is a long story. I've said it a million times, but I got to start at the very, very beginning.
Okay.
And it'll all start to make sense. So when I first started the Healthy Project, it wasn't the Healthy Project. It was Smart Talk Podcast because I just wanted to do a podcast. There was no
Yeah.
you know how people ask you, what's your why? There was no big why. I just wanted to do a podcast. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, they're called Smart. I was a health coach at the time. I was like, I'll do Smart Talk because in the health coaching world, we do SMART goals with our patients.
Yeah.
So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and right on time health and wellness conversations. Right? That was it.
I love it.
And I only spoke to other health coaches. We're around the country. Like health coach did sugar addiction, another primary care health coach like myself, a health coach that worked with only cancer patients. Like those were the type of conversations I was having.
Yeah.
Now, all while I was doing that, we had moved my mom to live with me to take care of her health. During that, I want to say I was doing Smart Talk for maybe 6-7 months. I'm not very clear on the time, but during that time, that like 5-6 month time frame, we found out that she wasn't getting diabetic eye exams in Illinois. So she was about to go blind. Then we found out she had breast cancer. Then we found out she had 13% kidney function. All within that time.
Dang.
So, and I'm having these valuable conversations for a certain community, but at the time, working in the safety net hospital that I was at, providing services for the population that I serve, and what my mom was going through, I didn't really care about those conversations anymore.
Yeah.
On top of that, it all kind of happened, I feel we were saying the right time, but it all kind of happened at the right time because one, people were getting my podcast confused. They're like, what you doing a money podcast for? Because they were saying smart, like with,
Yep.
they were connecting that with like financial stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like over like explaining what Smart Talk was.
Yeah.
And it was like,
You have to be like, I swear, guys, it's not about. Yeah.
yeah. So that was happening
Yeah.
all while that stuff was happening with my mom. So like my passion was changing. On top of, I'm working within health equity and doing this work already. So I'm like, okay, I already need a name change. So I'm gonna do a name change and a complete content change at all the same time. All while at the time health equity had a huge light on it during this 2020. Right? So
Yeah.
my first episode went out May 4th. Smart Talk went out May 4th, 2020. So like as I'm talking about keto, all this stuff is happening in our nation.
Yeah.
Then all this stuff. So I'm like, I can't have this conversation anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when Healthy Project, I went on Apple Podcasts and I was just like thinking of ideas about put it into the search to see if it was already taken. I was like, ooh, the Healthy Project. And I'm like, boom, one taken, boom, Healthy Project.
There it goes.
And then I've been rocking ever since.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, I love it. And I love the name change of it. One of the things I think that I like most is I've gotten to know you and really understand what your overall goals are, is that Healthy Project encompasses more than health.
Yeah.
Like the immediate assumption is that, oh, this is just going to be health related.
Yeah.
But for you to be healthy, all the things in the world need to be right.
Yeah.
That is your economics, that is your transportation, that is your all of the things, right?
Yeah.
And so they do relate to health, but aren't necessarily health specific. And I think that is sort of where Heather and I come in.
Yes. So I want to answer that question and then I want to get into what this is all
Okay.
about.
Yes.
Because at some point, my goal is as I get older, I want to be able to say I'm a health equity expert. So like
Love
10,
it.
15 years, I want to say, I want to transition from health equity advocate to like, you can't tell me nothing about health equity.
Yep.
But as I'm learning, so I'm in that process right now. And one of the first things I recognized early, or like a couple years ago, is that you can't be healthy without understanding what is going on around the person,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
right? So like I can talk to everybody until I'm blue in the face about the importance of fruits and vegetables. But if you don't live in an area that has access to fresh fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
if you
Yes.
don't have the income to pay for fresh fruits and vegetables, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You can tell somebody something over and over and over again. If they don't know what it is or have access to it,
Yep.
they can't do it.
And the segueing to some of the stuff we're going to be talking about, and if you're not civically engaged in understanding how those things work in your community, you can't be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't help others be healthy
You
either.
can't help others
Yeah.
to be healthy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's a gap between knowing that it's important, but also understanding and like okay, and there is an education gap there.
Yeah.
That
For all of us.
for
Yeah.
all of us.
For all of
Yeah.
us.
Yep.
Would be very arrogant of us to assume that any of us have the full information to be able to solve it. It is as the world is ever evolving,
Yep.
the solutions and the answers are going to be ever evolving also.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't. Y'all gonna have the brain is murky on this, but I know there was a moment where I said at least to Victoria, no, it was you.
It was
first,
me. Yeah.
because you were on my podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, you need a podcast.
Yeah.
And
He told me I have a podcast voice. Hopefully y'all agree.
yeah, I'm like, you need to have a podcast. And
Yeah.
you're passionate about what
Yep.
you're doing. And then you guys had a nonprofit co-working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went there with no intentions of talking about my city lab.
And we bullied Corey into a whole panel.
Yes. And then what happened was just beautiful. And then like
Yeah.
I know Victoria said I need to either there was some pressure for you to get more out there.
Yeah.
There's been some pressure.
There's been a lot of it.
And I'm like, you need a podcast. I'm telling everybody
They need a
Victoria's
podcast.
brain needs to be out in the world. Like more people need to know Victoria's brain.
Well, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
we saw we got the evidence of that from those clips that we got from our episode we
Right,
did
right.
about My City, My Health.
Yeah.
People want to know this information. So that's where I'm at with it. Like, oh, this is happening. And then it just beautifully up to the Healthy Project Network. So I'm super
Yeah.
grateful for you guys even saying yes to that. This
Yeah.
is a new venture for all of us.
Yeah.
But your guys' thoughts. I said that really, really fast.
He did. He was
He did.
speeding to the finish line.
I love it. I love it though. I think we've touched on like all of the key points without sort of pulling them together.
Yeah.
So everything we do in life that we care about is going to relate to our health. It
Yep.
doesn't matter whether that is politics, whether that is economics, whether that's actual health, any of the things, all of them are going to be about supporting how we live and how we can healthily live and enjoy the short time that we have here on earth, right?
Yeah.
And so to be able to live in that best light, we need to be able to address all of the things, which looks like I think for Heather and I to be civically engaged. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the gentleman was just talking about how everything is politics. There is nothing that is not political in this world.
Yep.
If you want a speed bump in your neighborhood to slow down traffic, that is a political process.
Yep.
If you want, your child's education to get better, that is a political process. That doesn't mean you're running for office. That doesn't mean you even have to navigate with political officials.
Yep.
But there are processes involved that are by nature political and
Yeah.
can be changed with civic engagement processes.
Yeah.
And so Heather and I discuss all the time from just who we are, from our
Yeah.
NAACP world, from all the places.
Yeah.
We're always discussing the change we see, the change we don't see, what is working, what isn't working, and we
Yep.
thought it'd be a good time to bring everybody along on that journey.
Yep. That's what we're here
Yep.
for. We want to start talking about the changes that we see within our community, within our state, within our world, within our country.
And it's a hard one today.
It's a hard one today.
Yeah.
But we also want to talk about the changes that we're not seeing. So that's where you all are going to come into. We want you to be a part of that journey with us, and we decided to take these conversations that we have on the phone or in the office or
Yep.
at the cave. We wanted to bring that out to the world because, like, we ain't gonna make it if we aren't all
Yeah.
trying to do it together.
Yeah.
So
I think
Yeah.
it's important that one, that's why Change in Plain Sight
Yes.
podcast is
Yep.
coming to the Healthy Project podcast network. But I think it's important for the people listening to understand, well, why should I listen to y'all? Like, tell us. I know why, but the background, like what you guys have been doing so much work when it comes to this, that I think it's important people know, like, hey, talk your shit right now. Give us the give us the resume.
Yeah,
you want to go first?
sure. So
Yeah.
I've been doing some sort of change work or systems advocacy for 30 plus years.
Okay.
I hate saying that out loud.
3 decades.
Because
y'all.
I'm only 29 years old,
right.
so I don't
That's
know
right.
how I've been doing
Out the
this.
womb. Out the womb.
Man, somehow.
It does.
I'm not gonna correct
Yes, but it's literally been 30 plus years for me. And so I think, my initial work started with just wanting to change things around my neighborhood. But I also found for myself that I really understand how systems work, and I understand how systems affect people in a way that most people don't. So because of understanding those systems and that early advocacy training I got as a very young person, I have been able to apply that in everything that I do. So whether that is my time in corporate America, whether that's my time in small business, now my space in transportation, I'm always looking for a way to improve and make systems better for folks. Really, that is my passion in life, and coincidentally, I apparently am pretty good at it. I'll take that proudly, because the work that I do, or the ways that I help people, really helps all of us get better. Because if you can lift the bare basic situation for just one person, that really does lift everything. That rising tide sort of mentality, and so. I have been able, across all of the spaces that I'm in, to explain systems and teach people how to navigate systems, and to access things, whether that be things that they need for themselves or things that they want for their neighbors, or all of those things. And so because I have a really good understanding of that process, I want to make sure that everybody has the same understanding. I only know what I know because I've been doing it for this many years. It's not because there's something super magical. Like, this is an attainable state of being for anybody, but it's also not something that most people have time to think about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, somebody who wants a speed bump in their neighborhood, for example, doesn't know all of the systems in place to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I can teach you pretty quickly and cut down the processes so that you're not spending years for something that should ideally take you 6 months, right? And so if I can do that, I want to be able to do that. And I do it for a lot of people already, and people are always saying to me, hey, Victoria, like, you really need to share that information with everybody. And I love to help everybody, and so sure, why not? Here I am, wanting to explain to people that change is possible, and that really change in plain sight is attainable for all of us.
Yep. My journey is a little bit different, which is why Victoria and I go together. Because
Go together real hard.
yes.
Yeah.
Because while Victoria's brain can see these systems and structures, and she can figure out and find the solutions in that lens, my strength lies in, like, that pulling together of people and making those connections for
Yes.
folks. And part of that starts as early as being a kid, right? I'm a daughter of a Marine and a firefighter, and a mom who continued to make sure that our family and our community stayed connected. But also, I always go back to, I got trained as a conflict manager when I was in junior high.
Not you too.
Oh, man. And I use those skills
amazing.
more often than I would like to as an adult. But some of that was, like, organizing the community, because the kids would come in and talk about what was going on, and the goal was to try and come to a shared understanding. As I got older, I started working with Sister Cities International, so I started doing some citizen diplomacy work as a young kid. The YMCA has been integral to my building of relationships, all the way from doing like tiny tots, tumble tots or whatever as a kid, through going to the Y camp, through working at Y camp, working at the Y. There is a community bond that consistently gets pulled together and structured. And then when I lived abroad, I worked and lived with people from all over the world. And so there was a lot of how do we communicate with each other when we have different cultural backgrounds. We've had different ways that we've been raised, different ways to approach what would define happiness, what sounds like a good time, how are we going to approach problem solving in the workplace. So I got a real opportunity to get an even broader understanding of how we can all kind of fit together, but also how we can achieve together. I also go back to Hyatt Middle School. I was in an environment.
East Side?
East Side, that's right. All day, all day, all day.
I have a friend that knows you from back in the day.
That's how we've known each other almost our whole lives and
Someone else. I coach with them myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I probably know who that is. Yes, there in that time, and I'm okay. I'll do it. I was at Hyatt from fall of '95 to to spring of '98.
Said, oh.
I was born and raised in the 1900s, as my niece likes to remind
as
me.
Langston likes to tell me. Yeah.
So, but during that time, that was a community of kids that some of those relationships have outstanded even my high school relationships. And so that was community gathering at its best. And I learned from that in a multitude of ways, going into adulthood. But now I work in higher ed, and I work through a community lens. I do community organizing with a multitude of organizations. And sometimes it is just putting together a day where we all go co-work at the library. And some days it's running a voter registration drive at big events, or asking people to come and learn about how the government functions.
Yeah.
Those are things that I really get a lot of joy out of, but I also it helps other people understand things, and we need to constantly meet people where they're at.
Yeah, and I think so. Really, that is the where we meet. Heather is the master networker. I don't know anybody who can network better than Heather. Heather knows. It's everybody's like, oh, 6 degrees of separation. No. I bet you Heather can get us there in less than 2. Yeah, Heather knows everybody everywhere. Everywhere. And so I think when you have people who know people, and you have people who know systems, and you need those two things because they really are the same thing. If you can put those two talents together, you get something really interesting, and something that winds up being really helpful for people overall. And so I think that's us, and that's what we're wanting to be able to do and to explore and see how it goes.
Yeah. And that's what I love about the change in plain sight, what you guys have in your description about where leadership meets life.
Yeah.
I think that is so important, and I would love to talk about some of the value that people will get from this podcast. Because to me, yes, it's a podcast where you kind of just listen. Some people listen in the car, but this could be something where one day you could be talking about the intersection of pop culture and civic engagement to civic engagement by our community leadership, or whatever the case may be. But this could be something people might want to take notes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to
I hope
park
so.
the car and take some notes. Like, what is this? Like, what's the vision? Like, what do you guys think people can get from this?
So I'm gonna do the thing that like I hate when people do, but I'm gonna go ahead and just like make sure I don't forget anything here. So Heather and I have worked really hard to make sure that what we are putting together for you all really is something that you need and can take value from, and is something that you might want to take notes from, or feel free to reach out and ask us how to explore it further. And so really some pillars that we're building things around, and what we hope that you get is systems and policy. So making sure that we unpack how decisions are made. A lot of times folks are mad about something, but they don't understand all that it took to get to that place, and maybe the compromise that it took to get there, or maybe how that first decision that you don't like is just the first, right? Maybe that is the first step towards changing something in another way. There's a new iteration to come. And so we want to make sure that we're unpacking that. And so people are understanding when they hear things, whether they like them or not, what went into them. I think the next thing, as you just mentioned, is culture and community. And so how culture and community shape the decisions, the changes, whatever it is we need to live well, is going to be really important for us. Then personal and public growth. One of the things I think that is hard, and I keep hearing the women around me say, and it bothers, it's something that affects me, but it also bothers me that we are all experiencing this. There is this imposter syndrome that we all experience in various parts of our lives. Like, why should I be the person to say that? Why should I? Because you know it and you've learned it, or you went to school for it, or you experienced it, and your life experience matters. And so what does it look like to grow that in a way that helps folks to not be ashamed of all of the things that you're good at, and to be able to be bold and proud about them, because you have those skills and talents for a reason. And so what that looks like for us, what we see in other people, unique skills and talents, I think will be important to feature, because none of us can do this work alone, right? And then the last thing is really the sort of the work within. And so we want to make sure that we're all navigating our purposes. And I think that is important for, you always get a lot of people in media who are always in the front, but they're not really doing anything. They're just saying a whole lot and sound really good. But really, there needs to be work happening within to be able to make yourself feel comfortable, and sort of, it really supports that sort of imposter syndrome. We want to identify people doing good things, but also what is it that if you are struggling with something and you know you need to improve so that you can develop and grow, what are the things or the tools that have helped us or helped our friends or other people that we know be able to grow and develop? And so really that is like the overall summary of what we're hoping folks get out of the podcast. But I don't know, Heather, would you add anything?
The only thing I would add is that, the title of the podcast, Change in Plain Sight, is very strategic because it encompasses us being able to showcase and show how change can happen, right? It's happening in front of you. You should be able to identify it, and we want to be able to provide you with those tools. And, like, with the imposter syndrome component, we ain't perfect, and we're going to be changing in plain sight in front of y'all.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally. So, like, there's nuance to all of this, just as there is nuance in all things that we have to bring back into our lives and really be thinking about more deeply.
Yeah.
So
I think for me too, I hope that people, whether they get it from us or they start to recognize it in the people that are around them, I recognize that the people who are in my life right now, I wind up walking away better after every single conversation I have with them. I recognize that the people who are around me and are doing things, whether we're everyday friends or just acquaintances, that these people are amazing people with amazing talents. And so I go into every conversation hoping to be able to pull something away that grows and stretches me, that I can then use to apply to my community.
Yep.
And so I know, like, Heather and I could talk on the phone for literally 2 minutes and I've learned something. And so I hope that people feel the same way coming away from us, that they are getting that experience with us, but also getting that starting to recognize that in the people that are around them.
Yep.
And then I would push you that if you're not experiencing that with the people around you, that you maybe need to start changing your circle. If you are recognizing that you don't see or feel like the majority of your conversations are improving you in some way, even if they just make you feel better for the day,
Yep.
right? Like feeling better means you can do a lot more work. It means you can help your family more. It means you can just show up and be better. And so, if you don't walk away from your conversations feeling that, again, stretch your network.
Yep.
And so we're hoping to be able to expand those opportunities for folks.
Yeah. You know what I think it'd be cool is cool too is that kind of piggybacking off what you said, Victoria, and there are people that don't know how to say it or what to say
Yeah.
or what the right question to ask. And I think what is cool about you guys having this platform now is that there can be somebody listening that will have the opportunity to email and ask a question.
Yes.
Yep.
And then they can have someone they trust that knows they're talking about to answer that question. Now they have a foundation
Yeah.
to go back and do something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we don't know, Heather knows somebody who will.
I got y'all. I got you. Go to this corner and take a left, and you will be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. From the moment I listened to you guys on the My City, My Health panel, even that was
It was a good panel.
it was
We
a
had
good
so much fun.
It was a great panel, and so
Yeah.
like I know this is going to be very valuable, and I appreciate you guys trusting me with the podcast and
excited.
bringing it on the network.
Very
And
excited.
hopefully you guys aren't the last. I want the Healthy Project Network to be a source for educational, conversational, and warm content for people, right? I want it to be kind of that warm handoff to hard conversations.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I love that.
yeah.
I
That
love
should be your
that.
tagline.
Yeah.
The warm handoff for hard conversations.
Yep.
I love
Yo,
it.
That's fire.
It is.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah. There we go. Get yourself some hot hands and like, yeah.
Yeah. But I think this is dope. So any last words? What we got for people coming up next?
We will have a first official sort of episode out shortly. We want, as Corey mentioned, we want this to be as interactive as possible.
Yep.
And so we will make sure that in the show notes, you know how to reach us, how to email us, so that you can always reach out and ask questions on any topic. I don't want any topic to be off limits. That is the point of this. Is that we want to be able to help with all things.
Yep.
And so feel free to reach out. You can reach out now, even before the first episode comes out. We haven't recorded it yet. So it is not too
This is
soon.
the first episode.
Well, the handoff.
Yes.
This is the
This
warm
the
handoff.
intro.
The warm
Yeah,
intro.
the introduction.
Yeah.
But it's not too late to get in any potential questions or things that you see happening. We are open to being able to include that. We
Yep.
promise to make content that won't waste your time.
Yes.
It
100%.
will be appropriately valuable, which means we're not shooting to just make an hour episode every time, right? It might be a short episode, it might be a long one. What is valuable content for you going to look like? That is what we are promising to you.
Yep.
And so we just want to welcome you along the journey and hope that you'll come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would encourage people to subscribe to the Healthy Project Media YouTube page. That's where this will live on all audio platforms. It'll live there. The Change in Plain Sight newsletter is it will be live when this goes live, so they'll be able to get that information there. So it'll be everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're excited.
We love
We're
it.
excited.
So excied.
Well, this is y'all's podcast.
All right. I know. I feel like we need Corey, right?
I don't know.
We'll figure out the closing.
You're going to keep it
We'll
all.
figure out the closing.
Bloopers
but-
and everything.
Yeah.
That's all right. At least we didn't start out ashy.
That's right. That's right. We'll see you next time, y'all.
As Corey falls out of his
Bye.
chair.